And Josh, obviously you had success in Xfinity, but after kind of the season of Stewart Haas and then coming here, did you have any doubt on whether you'd ever win a Cup race?
That's a hard question to answer because, I think back, through, the last few years, right? I feel like when I left the 9 car, I was the most confident that I'd ever been as a driver. I thought Alan did a tremendous job just building my confidence throughout that whole process and everybody. But since then, it's been tough, right? My Xfinity Series season in 23 was tough. And then, last year, just battling through the emotions of every part of that, it was difficult to manage, right? But, through those days, you learn so much about yourself, and, so many lessons that I learned last year from them guys have stuck. And, now I find myself here in this new opportunity. And, from the minute that I sat with, everyone at this table and thought about this opportunity, it just felt right. Like, it just felt like the right fit for me. But, our performance the start of the season has 100% exceeded my expectations. And I think that it just goes back to just trusting your instincts as a driver, that, if you're in a good situation and surrounded by good people and have fast race cars, then you can do amazing things. And I think that's where I'm at with it, really. Like, Miles has done a tremendous job believing in me, and I know there's times that probably even in the short couple weeks that he's probably thinks, what is this guy talking about or whatever. But he's had my back, and we've built this quickly together. And I just feel like it's and ultimately it comes down, if you're in a good situation surrounded by good people, leave it up to those guys to do their jobs and trust what you know as a driver, and here we are.
Mitchell Brewer, Black Hat Sports. Josh, there's been a lot of legendary drivers that have won for the Wood brothers. What's it mean to add your name to that list?
Yeah, no, it's amazing. These, the Wood brothers have been around for 75 years, and it's just tremendous, the legacy they have in this sport. And it really is an honor just to get to drive the car, but let alone win a race and run like we have. Has just been, it's like I said, it's just far exceeded my expectations. So it's, this is a, special day for all of us, right? To, win at an intermediate track like we did is really cool, and just thankful for the opportunity more than anything, right? To be behind the wheel in the Cup Series is an honor and a privilege, but to, be driving fast race cars like this and have this opportunity is really special.
Josh, this one's for you. Whenever you're done, text back, whatever. No rush. So right here over on your right. So you touched on that story after your first Cup Series start, kind of on the plane ride back. You thought your NASCAR Cup Series career was over right then and there. Now, in this moment right now, reflecting back to that moment, what would you tell that Josh Berry on the plane if you were with him?
I mean, I don't know that I would tell myself too much different, right? Like, I mean, that weekend was such a whirlwind, an opportunity that I never saw coming, right? Like, it was a last-second deal, and unfortunately the race didn't play out, any good at all. And I just, in that moment, you just think, man, that was my opportunity, and I wish I'd have done better. And thankfully they just gave me another week, right? Like, that was the extent of it, right? Like, I don't know that, I remember the internet and reading it, and everybody put this guy in, this guy doesn't deserve the opportunity. And for whatever reason, Mr. H and everybody on the 9 team just decided to stick it out. And that's something that I'm very thankful for. I mean, I think thinking back on, right, I think if they didn't do that, I was in the midst of, talking to the 4 team, and if they felt like that I wasn't the right move, I don't know what that would have done for my career as a whole, right? Like, so it's just, for guys like me that, just are fighting for every opportunity, you just need to be in the right place at the right time, and thankfully I was, and everything worked out like it did.
Herrera, UNLV Rebel Report. Josh, I also wanted to touch on that first start. Like you mentioned there, you thought your Cup Series career was over at one point. So how does a driver of your caliber pick up from such a mental roadblock and, more importantly, push through to find yourself in a position like this where you get your first Cup win and now have a promising season ahead? And kind of how's the journey like?
Well, I mean, I think for me, I remember the next day we were in the simulator running like 500 laps at Phoenix, and spent some time with that team to try to get a little bit more acclimated. And I remember I was running lap after lap in the simulator, not even know if I was going to race the next week, right? But we were just preparing like it was going to happen. And I think what allows me to focus on that is years of short track racing and working on my car and building. You're not going to win every race. The tough days, you just wake up whether you win or lose, and you go to work on Monday and try to be better for the next one, right? And that's where my head was at. I had no other choice, right? Like I could have, like there's no use in sitting and pouting over it, right? Like you just get to work, and I was there, first thing Monday to try to figure out the next gen car and what I need to do better and how to learn and how to adapt to the team, and thankfully it all worked out in the end.